IPJ, and my man, John Buckets. This show is presented by Skinheads. Buckets, new haircut.
I don't know if it's presented by that. New haircut, though. Yeah, this is my summer look. I'm definitely not just copying IPJ entirely. It's just bad timing. It's a coincidence.
I mean, come on, let's get into it. What inspired you? You saw IPJ, went with a shaved head, first time in 5 years for me. I'm enjoying it. I'm certainly a little bit more streamlined the way I'm running on that treadmill. But you have all of a sudden turned up this morning with a shaven head. So talk to me in detail about this, please.
You just looked so happy with your shaven head. I thought I was missing out on something, but also at the same time, I made a promise to my girlfriend. I met her parents about a month ago. It was her birthday this past Sunday. She loves my hair. I promised her I would not buzz it until after her birthday. The second we were done celebrating her birthday, IPJ, I was in the backyard just doing it myself. It's the summer. I don't like the hair sitting on my forehead, all the sweat building up. More streamlined, like you said.
More streamlined. I love it. I don't believe the story for one single minute, but it's great to check in on you. How's the love life going? Everything going well?
Going as good as it can be. What about you?
Well, I'm married for a very long time, together for an incredibly large amount, and have multiple children. So yes, incredibly happy, but thank you. I guess you're saying move on, IPJ. Listen, everybody out there, the Stoppage Time newsletter is making some waves. We have, yes, hundreds and almost into the thousands of you subscribed to the newsletter, fcstoppagetime.com. So please make sure you continue to do so. We're going to be very active around the FIFA Club World Cup. IPJ, yes, that's myself, will be taking some vacation. So Buckets will be on his own hosting. He'll have some friends as well, so we'll call it Buckets and Friends, the episode edition of Stoppage Time. Buckets a little bit nervous for hosting the show?
I think it's long overdue, frankly. I think I'll be an incredible host, and I'm totally not nervous and getting anxious just thinking about it and questioning my choices, but I'm ready for it. It should be fun.
Not fucking sleeping whatsoever. You are, that's for sure. Worried about hosting the show. Buckets, no longer are we in the category of hoping we finally get a good opportunity. It looks like we might have a couple of people making some opportunities come our way in the next 12 months.
Yeah, we are. Are we talking about that, or is this still under?
No, you're not talking about anything. Just say, looks good for us,
IPJ. I was like, holy shit, are we talking about this?
No, we're not, but just letting everybody know there's something out there that we're cooking up. On today's episode, as you pointed out there, producer Jeff, it's the FIFA Club World Cup special. It is a special betting one for those betting lovers out there ahead of this wonderful competition. So, Buckets, this is what we're playing for. This is the coveted trophy, a 24-karat gold-plated finish with a laser-engraved inscription on both sides, showcasing football's rich history. In case you couldn't tell, I'm reading something here. These include the world map and names of 211 FIFA member associations and the 6 federations, which I quite like. It's in detail, this trophy. There is also a key that will be used to unlock the moving features of this trophy, which then transforms from a plate-like structure to a spherical one, also is gold-plated. So this thing moves around. You open it with a key, it moves around. Go Google it. It's pretty impressive. First and foremost, your thoughts on the fucking trophy.
Be careful Googling it, because before this episode, I went to the FIFA site to look at the 3D model of it, and my computer almost exploded. And it was just because of that, not because I was looking at anything else. I feel like the need to clarify, but it's a very impressive trophy. I'm excited to see the spherical movement features of it, but I mean, I feel like it embodies this competition, just something that expensive and that nice.
My oh my, what we would do to see your search history on your computer. No wonder it froze. Buckets. So what is the FIFA Club World Cup? It's 32 teams that will play 63 games in 11 host cities across the United States of America over the next 4 weeks, which is going to be pretty epic. Now, there's obviously opportunity out there for people in your near city to go get tickets. Tickets are starting to drop. The prices are dropping because not every single game is sold out. There will be a lot of games, I would imagine, that are just half full as well because of some of the teams that are competing in here. So there's going to be a group stage with the 2 best teams from each group getting through to the the last 16 knockout stage, which is going to be interesting. So first and second in the group is where you need to be. The rest, fuck off back home and off on vacation. So Buckets, do you want to know from each continent which team is actually playing?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to Asia first and foremost, the AFC. We've got Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia. They're the winners of the 21 AFC Champions League. We've got Urawa Red Diamonds from Japan, winners of the 2022 AFC Champions League. Of course, you're familiar with Japanese soccer, yes?
Yes.
We have Al Ain, the United Arab Emirates, winners of the 23-24 AFC Champions League. They also qualified. And then Ulsan from South Korea, the best-ranked eligible team from the AFC for a 4-year ranking period. Needless to say, Buckets, I would say the rules and regulations to get into this competition, a little controversial, as you'll find out with the last team I'm about to talk about. Buckets, let's talk about Africa. Al Ahly Egyptian, of course, winners of the 2020-21 CAF Champions League. Vaid Morocco, winners of the 21-22 CAF Champions League. And then we have Esperance de Tunis, Tunisian best-ranked eligible team from CAF over the last 4 years. And then we've got Mamelodi Sundowns from South Africa, the second best-ranked eligible team in CAF over a 4-year ranking period. Buckets, do you know any of these teams? Have you betted on any of these teams recently?
I pride myself on betting on every single team I can possibly find and betting on every single country I can possibly bet on. And I can say with 100% honesty and transparency, not even I have heard of some of these clubs. So it's going to be a fun experiment, kind of learning and watching some of these different play styles.
Yes, money line on Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's go to CONCACAF, of course, the region where we are all obviously recording this from in the United States of America. We've got obviously all the CONCACAF teams competing as well. So Monterrey of Mexico are the winners of the 21 CONCACAF Champions League. We've got Seattle Sounders from Major League Soccer, winners of the 22 CONCACAF Champions League. Congratulations to Seattle. Also interesting to see them demonstrating. I don't know if you saw it with the t-shirts wanting more money. Talk about that maybe a little bit later on, maybe not. Anyway, Pachuca, Mexico, winners of the 24 CONCACAF Champions League. And we've got LAFC, which is also from Major League Soccer. They're the winners of the playoff match against Club America most recently. There was a bit of a dispute about club ownership. One of the Mexican teams jumped out, and then all of a sudden, this playoff game appeared, and it was like a $10 million game. We can talk about that later on. There's another team in Major League Soccer which will also be involved. I'll talk about them a little bit later on. So any team in particular catch your attention, Bucket?
Out of the ones you just mentioned, I'm very excited to see LAFC play because I feel like they're just one of the more established MLS sides. I don't really have a lot of expectations for most of the teams participating in CONCACAF, but this could be kind of a sneaky team and maybe a fun team to bet on, especially considering they're in a group with Chelsea.
More established team from the 4 teams I just mentioned from CONCACAF. They are the newest team. They've only been around for about 6 years. Anyway, let's go to CONMEBOL, South America. Palmeiras from Brazil, winners of the 21 Copa Lib. We've got Flamengo, Brazil, winners of the 22 Copa Lib. Fluminense, Brazil, 23 Copa Lib. Botafogo, Brazil, Copa Lib 24. We've got River Plate from Argentina, best ranked eligible team in CONMEBOL over the last 4 years. And then we've got Boca Juniors, of course, from Argentina, second best ranked eligible team from CONMEBOL over the last 4 years. Interesting. Some of these rules and regulations. Bucking from South America, any favorite there?
It's probably going to be Palmeiras for me. That is a team that I've bet on a good deal out of Brazil, but it's fun to see River Plate and Boca Juniors both in there as well. Should be some very good heated matches depending on where we end up after these group stages.
I'm going to rapid fire through this one. Chelsea, winners of the 2021 Champions League. Real Madrid, winners of 22 Champions League. Manchester City, 23 Champions League. Bayern Munich, best eligible team in 4-year ranking from Germany. Paris Saint-Germain from France, second best eligible team. Inter Milan, fourth ranked best eligible team from UEFA. Porto from Portugal, fifth ranked team from UEFA. Benfica are the seventh best ranked team from the UEFA over the last 4 years. We have Borussia Dortmund, who are the third best eligible team over the UEFA over the last 4-year ranking, obviously making it to the Champions League final helped them get there. Juventus are the 8th best ranking team. Atletico Madrid are the 6th. And then Red Bull Salzburg are the 9th best ranked eligible team in UEFA over the last 4-year period. Red Bull Salzburg. From UEFA, anything catch your attention there?
Staying away from Red Bull Salzburg. I know that they run through eligibility, but this is a team that is not going to do anything in this competition. We finally got the teams we've all heard of, though. Look at PSG, who just won the Champions League in terrifying, dominating fashion, to have probably, I'd say, a pretty deep run in this one.
I know who you're going to be putting all your money on.
Jeff Stortman.
The only team from Oceania. That is, of course, Auckland City from New Zealand, the best OFC Champions League winners and the OFC 4-year ranking team. Auckland City are going to be competing in this competition. Now, this is where it gets controversial. The host nation had a pick. the winners of the 2024 MLS Supporters Shield, that majority trophy, which was so massively important in 2024, never to be seen again or cared about any time else. Inter Miami, they won that in 2024. So therefore, Inter Miami, Lionel Messi, and all of his friends get to play in the big tournament. Your thoughts on Inter Miami's qualification process and how difficult that was?
Oh, I mean, just a round of applause for Inter Miami for writing a check for winning the Supporter Shield Community Cup, whatever. I mean, we all know why they're here. We all want to see Messi play. I know it's not fair, but we knew it was going to happen. And Ian, I'll be honest, I don't think we're shocked to see this, right?
No one's shocked to see this one, and I'm actually happy they're in there as well. And of course, everyone's watching Major League Soccer a little bit more with an eye on it because of Messi and Co. Also, David Beckham, part of the ownership group there, which is massively important. Marcus, you want to know how much money is involved in this competition? Because it's
gonna make me
mind-blowing.
It's gonna make me sick. What's the number?
There's a lot of money involved. Let me just throw it out there. So the total prize money involved in this competition is $1 billion.
How much of that is the trophy itself?
Trophy, not that much, but let me get into detail exactly how much each team will actually make. So just over half of that total will go to the clubs just for being there. So just for turning up at the tournament, you get a shitload of money. Different teams will obviously receive differently sized payouts because of their participation, where they come from, what they did to actually compete in this competition. So half of it's going to go to all the teams who are competing, which is cool enough as in itself. Like, people are just getting money just to be in this competition, which is great. Teams will earn $2 million for a win in the group stage. Wow. And you will get $1 million for a draw in the group stage. Buckets, if you were to make it to the round of 16, you'll get 7.5 million additional just to make it through into the round of 16. To get to the quarterfinal of this competition, $13.1 million additional dollars on top of the 7.5 and whatever it is you did for wins, $2 million each win, just throwing it out there. To get to the semifinal of this competition, Buckets, additionally, you will pay another $21 million for each team that makes the semifinal. And if you make it to the final, Buckets, if you're lucky enough to make it to the final, on top of all the money I just said to you, you will get another $30 million just to make it to the final. So for getting through the quarterfinals, last 16, 7.5, quarterfinal 13.1, 21 million to make it to the semifinal, 30 million to make it to the final. If you're the lucky team that wins this competition, you will get another $40 million. Needless to say, Buckets, it's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, and that could completely change a team like Auckland City FC if they can make not even a big run here, but just, pick up a draw in the group stage. It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money most likely going for a team that already has a lot of money. But, I mean, just to be in this competition, it's worth it for all of these clubs.
No doubt about that. Here's why it's important, no Buckets, because all of this money, let's just say it's for a Manchester City, a Real Madrid, a Bayern Munich. If you make this money, what that will do on your books, how you can balance your books in some way, financially, it allows you to spend a lot more money. So you've got more money coming in. So let's say you win it, you get $140 million from start to finish. You can then go and spend a lot more money in the transfer window. It becomes a game changer for domestic leagues in the top 5 European leagues. Obviously, what this would do if it was a South American team that had success. I mean, for Major League Soccer teams in particular, for them to get to a win, full stop, is more than they would get for winning Major League Soccer, MLS Cup. So just to put it into perspective for everybody out there, this means a great deal, and the game should be fucking epic. So who's going to win it, Buckets? Let's have a look at the futures out there, and it's time to rattle through some betting odds. Buckets, I want your opinion. I mean, realistically, right now, Real Madrid are the favourites, PSG second, City third, but Bayern Munich are fourth. And there's some big names out there. Is there anyone in particular that you have your eyes on that might be worth it for our loyal listeners to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to place a unit on this?
I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you the one I'd place a whole unit on and the one I do that's a bit more of a long shot trying to find or have some fun with it. I don't see how anyone doesn't put some kind of money on PSG right now. Ian, we've been talking about them all Champions League season long, how good this squad is, how, they came together and did incredible things and how they won the UCL Final 5. I mean, they've just been unstoppable. And I don't see how that slows down. They're still going to have their squad. They're going to come together. And at plus 500, that is an absolute must bet for me. Full stop. I mean, that is an incredible line. I think they should be favorites. I get why Real Madrid is, but plus 500, that's a full unit play. And then I'm actually looking at Atletico Madrid at plus 1400 here, where we got him. Yeah, plus 1400. Just a bit of a more fun shout. It's not the longest shot by any means. It's not the plus 100,000 we're getting on MGM right now for Auckland City, but they're a good squad. They're a squad that does well in competitions like this. And at 1400 with a pretty easy group stage, maybe you can even get a cash out or some hedging down the line with them.
I love it. Here's where I'm leaning. Manchester City would be the one that would be my favorite right now to win. Okay. Manchester City. Not many people are going to go Manchester City. The odds are obviously, I thought they would have been a little bit higher than that for City because they didn't have a good season. But I have a feeling City are going to take this very seriously and they will want to win this competition. Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso, PSG obviously best team in Europe over the last, 6 months. Bayern Munich, you can never rule Bayern Munich out. Obviously, they've got a goal scorer, they've got a good goalkeeper, they've got a good defense now. But I do love your Atletico Madrid shout. Atleti are stacked. At plus 1400, they can absolutely win this competition. But that's what we're thinking to win it. Where I think Atleti might do well is just making it to the final. Here's the odds for reaching the final buckets. What stands out to you? Because Atletico Madrid, to me, getting to the final plus 600 is fucking tasty. What do you think?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. They're in that Group B that does have PSG, but it also has Seattle Sounders and Botafogo. So we should see some combination of PSG, Atleti, and 1 and 2. I love that at plus 600. I want to do something with Juventus. This is kind of a tricky team for me at plus 1100. That's a tasty line. They're a team that I have kind of a love-hate relationship. I need to see how they do in the group stage. So that's a team I might bet after the first couple games. But again, all of these big name teams should top their group fairly easily.
Manchester City for me to make the final plus 275 and plus numbers. I'm taking it. But Atletico Madrid plus 600. Something about that team, man. Something about that team. I think they can actually do a good bit of business in the domestic league next year as well. I think they'll cause problems for Real Madrid and Barcelona. Okay, so that's to reach the final there. Obviously, there's a look at our odds. We're giving you some leans here. Who makes the semi-final is going to be the interesting one because you can make plus numbers across the board of who makes it to the semi-final. So, Buckets, I didn't want to go through the group stages and let you know who's all in there. I'm going to go through some groups in a minute. But to reach the semi-final, outlook, give me your hot tip. Give me the one that you think that might be maybe a surprise package to make it to the semifinal and a team you haven't mentioned before.
I hate to just keep saying the same thing, but at plus 275, again, I'm looking at Atletico Madrid. If I'm looking for a team that I haven't named yet, it hurts me a little bit here, but Dortmund's one of these frustrating, annoying teams that does really, really well in competitions that they probably shouldn't be doing really, really well in. We consistently see them make deep Champions League runs, and this is a team, all jokes aside, all BS aside, because I know Jeff and I like to have some fun here, this is a team that I underestimate constantly and lose money betting against them constantly. When Dortmund show up on the right day, they're a team that can make this difficult for any opponent. So at plus 550 to bet on a team I haven't mentioned yet, that's where I'm looking.
I think Bayern Munich are pretty much a safe bet if you're looking for a team to make it to the semi-final. Plus 160 is a pretty good look, man, Bayern Munich. But here's my outsider that teams are not speaking about, that people are not speaking about, the media is not speaking about, that I think make the semi-final. Chelsea, plus 250, semi-final. That's ridiculous. Obviously, just won a UEFA trophy. Very, very good side. Very dangerous side. They are a team that I think can be a force to be reckoned with in this competition. And because of the money that's at stake, Chelsea will take this tournament seriously. Remember what I said to you. Getting to the semi-final for a club like Chelsea is worth 21 million just to make the semi-final, 13.1 to make the quarterfinal, 7.5. I mean, we're talking $50, $60 million extra they can spend in the transfer window if they want to, just to get to the semi-final. And then if you double it, obviously by winning it, but getting to the final, you've added another 30 million. I think Chelsea's a good shout. Atletico Madrid at plus 275, you can't turn your head away because I actually think they make the final as well. But Chelsea, if you're looking for something that's quite high, a little bit different, I fancy that. What about you?
It's a good shout. I have a bias, an internal bias against Chelsea because my buddy Tom is one of those Chelsea fans who's very annoying about Chelsea. So I always try to keep that in the back of my head here. But it's a good shout, especially at plus 250.
All right, let's have a look at top goal scorer right now. Obviously, from the outside looking in, it's not very easy to predict who's going to be fit, healthy. We've just come through an international break. Let's not forget all of these players pretty much have played in an international team over the last week. But this competition is going to be important. And I would imagine there's a lot of goals out there for players in a competition like this because you're competing more often than not. If you're in a favorable group, you're going to be having a good option to score goals. The problem I would have is this should be the off season for these players. They should be on vacation now. So where's the mentality? Where's the fitness levels? They come off the back of a grueling season, some of them. I don't know where to go with this one. It's a tough one. What about you?
This is a very tough one. I think when you're betting on something like this, you got to find a fun wager, a bit of a long shot, something that you don't mind putting a half unit on and then just hoping for the best here. I'm actually looking, and I kind of went through and broke down the groups. I wanted to find the team that had the easiest group, the team that could really rack up the goals and have those 5-0, 6-0 kind of wins. And for me, that's going to be Serhou Guirassy for Borussia Dortmund. You look at the group, they got Fluminense, they've got Melodi Sundowns, and they've got Ulsan. They've got 3 teams that Dortmund should beat by 2 or 3 goals in every one of these matches. And let's not forget that Guirassy tied as the Golden Boot leader for the Champions League after being knocked out way before the final here. So he's one of those guys that he can pick up 5, 6, 7 goals in these first 3 games. And then even if they don't make it to the final, he can carry it in some of these earlier fixtures.
Yeah, 13 goals for Guirassy, obviously shared the Golden Boot. How about Julian Alvarez? Plus 2,200 for Atletico Madrid. We're talking about maybe making a final. We're talking about making a semi-final. We're talking about a team. I know it's a bit of a difficult group, but Atletico Madrid, I think, might have a good opportunity of scoring goals. The question I've got out there, and this is where I'm saying to everybody to bet responsibly, we don't know if they're going to play every game. Yep. Where's the fitness? Where's the rotation? Some of these games that Buckets has pointed at, I would imagine the team will completely rest and prepare for the big games in the knockout stages. This is going to be one they're going to have to manage accordingly. So please, everybody, bet responsibly. And I wouldn't put it past Vinicius Jr., although I do know that he took a bit of a knock playing for Brazil in the qualification process yesterday. So be very careful. Top goal scorer, difficult to predict. Let's get into where we're focusing. And I want to focus on the team that we talked about last hour that qualified for this competition. That is, of course, Inter Miami. Now, Inter Miami with Lionel Messi, obviously Suarez, Busquets, Alba, all of the wonderful players that came from Barcelona are now competing together. They are starting this competition, which will be a lot of fun. But if you look at who's going to be the group winner of Group A, they're in with Porto, Palmeiras, and Al Ahly. Al Ahly's their first game. Do they have a chance of winning the group here at plus 300?
I don't think they have a chance at winning the group here. Maybe I'm a little bit too anti-Miami right now, but they're barely favorites to beat Al Ahly in their opening match here. I'm just looking at European experience in Porto. Porto, I think, should top this group easy, but Palmeiras is such a difficult team for anyone to beat in Brazil. They play such a frustrating physical style of football. They absolutely exhaust and beat their opponents to a pulp here. It is going to be a battle, not only for Miami to win this group, but to finish top 2. I don't like them to win the group even at plus 300.
So you're staying away from plus 300.
Staying away from plus 300.
Okay, so let's have a look at where Buckets thinks that Inter Miami might get eliminated, because this is really interesting, Buckets. If you have them getting eliminated from the group stage, it's minus 165. If you have them getting out of the group stage and making it to the last 16, plus 250 for them to be eliminated in the last 16. It's not bad if they get out of the group. So I'm intrigued. You think they don't get out of the group?
I don't, but I've also never seen a sportsbook have this option before of betting on a specific team to get eliminated at a specific point in the competition. That's fun. I like it. I mean, it's minus 165, which is a tough number to digest. I still think they don't get out of the group stage, but that's just a fun bet. I've never seen that.
So minus 165, is it playable then?
I don't think it's what I think happens, but maybe that has to be a parlay piece. That's going to be a tough number for a lot of people.
Let me put this into perspective. That first game is in Miami. All right. It's massive game for Miami. Massive game for Major League Soccer. Huge game for Lionel Messi. The whole world will be watching. And you think they lose to Al Ahly?
I think, tell you what, I think they're going to draw against Al Ahly. And then I think they're going to lose to Porto, and I think they're going to lose to Palmeiras. Miami's getting 1 point out of this group.
I mean, to me, it's absolutely wild what could happen in this competition. I have Inter Miami going and getting knocked out in the last 16, so plus 250.
Okay.
Lock it in, everybody. Okay, Lionel Messi obviously competing, just played for Argentina. They're already qualified for the FIFA Club World Cup in North America in 2026, which begins in exactly 1 year from the day we're recording this show. However, buckets... Lionel Messi will be playing in that competition. How many goals does Lionel Messi score? Give me your opinion here. Now, Lionel Messi has the opportunity to spring a few surprises in this competition, Buckets. I told you I'd come up with a few surprises for you, and I finally have found it. Buckets, you look like you're flabbergasted. The first game is going to be interesting against Al Ahly. Let's just talk about Lionel Messi first and foremost. He is going to be busy. He's going to be active. He's going to want to score goals. I think he scores goals personally. But where are you going over here? Because you've got some good decisions. Over 1.5, minus 170. To just score 3 goals, plus 180.
This is so cool. Again, a prop I've never seen before in a competition like this. I would go over 2.5 at plus 180, but I would not go over 3.5 at plus 500. I think he picks up a goal or 2 against Al Ahly, and then he's going to score against Palmeiras. So 3 goals sounds right to me. I think that's definitely playable at plus 180.
Is it possible? Over 3.5 at plus 500. I mean, we're talking Lionel Messi here. 3 games, major competition, a lot of money at stake, big stage. It's Messi. Over 3.5 buckets. Talk to me.
It is Messi. Well, here's the thing. If they get out of the group stage, absolutely. I mean, there's no way he's going to go to the last of 16 and not get a goal in that competition or matchup as well. I think it's worth a sprinkle. I personally would not put a full unit on this, but if they really blow Al Ahly out in that opening match, and let's say they win that first fixture 3-1, 4-1, something crazy. If they win 3-1, 4-1, at least 2 goals are coming from Messi, but also that momentum will carry into those tougher matchups. I think it's worth a sprinkle at plus 500, and it's worth a full unit at plus 180.
Plus 500, over 3.5, lock it in for me.
I knew it.
Let's go to your boys, Bayern Munich. Let's have a look at Group C. This is going to be interesting. Obviously, group winner, you would imagine Bayern Munich will be favourite here, but there is a few surprises there. Benfica will be interesting. Good team, dangerous team. Plus 300 could spring a surprise in that game against Bayern Munich if they catch them off guard. Boca Juniors are maybe a bit of a long shot. And then your favourites, plus 10,000, Auckland City. Do you have Bayern winning Group C?
Yeah, I have them winning that group easily. But I will say they open up against Auckland City. I wouldn't be shocked if they concede a goal to Auckland. They'll win that game 6-1, but that might be a fun little BTTS look.
I'm intrigued to see where you have Bayern Munich getting knocked out of this competition, Buckets.
Let's see the odds. Ooh, okay. This is just so cool. What I would do...
Well, why don't you explain it to the ones who are listening rather than watching exactly what the odds are?
It's just fascinating. So you've got them to get out in the group stage at plus 500. There's no way you take that because they're not going to lose to Boca and Benfica. Mm-hmm. You've got last 16 at plus 200, which seems to be the favorite based on the odds. Quarterfinals 300, semifinals plus 450, runner up plus 800, and then more likely than runner up is to win outright at plus 700. As a Bayern Munich supporter, of course, I want to say to win this outright at plus 700. But as someone who likes making money, that's not where I'm putting my odds. I'm going to say knocked out in the semifinals at plus 450 here, Ian. I think they make a very deep run in this competition. They make it to that Final Four, but there's just too many big names and there's so much uncertainty around Bayern Munich right now and just Germany in general in football. So I'm going to stay away from them winning it all, but I like that at plus 450.
Yeah, semifinals or quarterfinals is where I would go. Probably quarterfinals here. I think they get past the last 16. I don't think that's going to be dangerous for them. I think they get to the quarterfinals, and that's where they're going to come up against a giant. So I'm really intrigued. So I would say quarterfinals, semifinals is where you want to probably place. Obviously, a little wager here. Again, bet responsibly, everybody, because these numbers are crazy. They're plus numbers to entice you in, but also I'm giving you a lot of opportunity here to win and lose money. So be very careful where you place your money. Yeah. I'm actually going to lean towards the quarterfinal here, maybe the semifinal as well. I'm intrigued by this one. Getting to the final is a possibility. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see them winning it. I don't see them in the final. I see them in the semi-final, maybe if they're lucky. Quarterfinal more realistic for me. Obviously, you need Harry Kane scoring goals here, and he is one that we have as being a favourite. For Harry Kane to score 4 goals in this tournament is minus 125.
I absolutely love that. Again, it's so hard to predict because, as Ian mentioned, like when Bayern Munich plays Auckland, they could play their entire second string, their entire second starting 11, and still win that game 3-0, 3-1. So you got to be careful. But if Harry Kane starts and if Harry Kane plays even 60 minutes in that matchup, he's scoring 2 or 3 against Auckland. So I love the over 3.5. It's kind of tricky. You got to bet responsibly because we don't know who's all going to start. But I like over 3.5 and I like over 4.5 in this. So I like the minus 125 and the plus 180.
Yeah, I like over 4.5. I think Harry Kane gets 5 goals, obviously gets a hat-trick in the group stage as well. In the Bundesliga, 26 goals from 31 appearances. He got 1 DFB Pokal goal and he got 11 goals in 13 Champions League matches. Harry Kane scoring goals. And again, his age might come into play here. It's been a long season for a lot of these guys, so bet responsibly on that one. Let's go to the Champions League winners, Paris Saint-Germain. In with a very difficult group, Group B, with Atletico Madrid, Seattle Sounders and Botafogo. Now, Sounders are the favourites to finish bottom of that group here, buckets. But let's talk about the group winner. PSG minus 140. To me, that seems playable. But more playable to me is Atleti to win that group at plus 150. I mean, Atleti to just have a good performance against PSG who are probably still partying a little bit. If PSG finish second in the group, I don't think they'll be bothered. I would say Atleti at plus numbers to win the group is playable.
Yeah, no, I think they're both playable, and I like your look there because PSG, even if they finish second, they're not scared about who they're playing in that next round of 16. They're not worried about it. PSG is good enough to play pretty much anyone in this competition at their best, but they might still be a little bit hungover from all of their celebrating. Atletico Madrid is such a frustrating team to play against. They're such a tricky side to beat in a competition like this. And I think everyone can agree on it's PSG and Atleti getting out of this group. But who wins that group? I'm not sure. I think plus 150 is a great shout here.
Interesting factor into why I'm saying Atletico Madrid is because the first game is Paris Saint-Germain against Atletico Madrid. So you play your best players who've just come off international break, who've just come off, obviously, the big major competitions and domestic games. Atleti have had more of a rest than PSG. Don't forget that. Atleti will have been rested. And they've got a stacked squad of players. So they can rotate without missing too much of a beat. I think Atleti beat PSG in that first game. I really do. I think they beat them in that first game. I'm going for Atleti to win this group at plus 150, which is absolutely crazy. So let's talk about PSG, where they eventually will go out here. We think they have an opportunity of winning the whole thing, which is crazy. They have a possibility of being runners-up. Do we think they get knocked out in the semi-final? The numbers are high here, very high. PSG, I don't think win this competition. I don't know about you, Buckets, but I don't think they win this one. So I'm having them getting knocked out in the semi-final at plus 550. Quarterfinals might not be a bad shout as well, plus 400.
I personally am staying away from that plus 400 quarterfinal. I do understand the logic behind this, a little bit of the hangover from celebrating and doing so well in the regular season in Champions League. I still think they make a very deep run in this competition. I will say semifinal at plus 550 is a really good looking number. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think logistically you can explain why PSG, as good as they are, they don't win at all. So I get that number at plus 550 as well. I'm going to sprinkle them to win outright, though. I just think it's too much fun watching this PSG squad. I still like them. And at plus 500, what I might do is cut a unit in half a unit to win outright at plus 500, half at the semifinals at plus 550. That's probably where I'm going to end up putting my money.
If they get through, and I think they finish second of their group, they would eventually play the winners of Group A, which would be Inter Miami, Porto, Al Ahly, and Palmeiras. So you'd imagine them to be favourites going into that game as well. So I do like quarterfinals, semifinals. Semifinals more realistic, I would say, is probably possible, but wouldn't put it past them finishing runners-up in this competition as well. And as you'll notice, there are semifinals and runners-up, and winning it outright. All very similar right there. So if you were to put a cheeky unit on all three of those, you might be in the money in the plus numbers there, Buckets, because these numbers are giving you an opportunity to make money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see that a lot with a couple of teams in this competition. You can bet 3 or 4 different options, and as long as one of those 3 or 4 hit, you're still going to find profit. So this is the kind of competition you can really, really have fun. And if you're thinking through this all, you can be very tactical in how you place these bets.
Oh, the beauty of watching Stoppage Time is we had one of our loyal listeners out there all the way back listening to what we were saying, talking about obviously Inter Milan and PSG being dark horse for this competition in the Champions League. And back in the day, placed a wager at plus 1,300, plus 1,600, and then just sat and enjoyed the final of the Champions League, which is absolutely crazy. So that's brilliant. Okay, let's go to Borussia Dortmund for producer Jeff, because this one's going to be interesting. Dortmund group winner, minus 200. You would expect that to happen, Buckets?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if they rotate heavily, there's not a whole lot of competition. I've watched a lot of Ulsan play this season. They're a fun squad to watch, but none of these teams compare to a team in the German Bundesliga.
All right, so you have them winning. Where do you have them getting knocked out of this competition? But again, once they get to the last 16, minus 140 is where the bookies have them getting knocked out here. Where do you have them getting knocked out?
I understand that minus 140 line, and it's going to be tough because where they finish and where other teams finish is going to determine who they play in that last round of 16. But again, this team is frustratingly tricky when they play in big competition. So I like, more than that, the quarterfinals actually at plus 300. I think they get past the last 16, but that's where their journey ends.
If they get to the round of 16, they could potentially face the second place team of Group E, which would be Inter, Monterrey, River Plate, Aurora, Red Diamonds. So I think they get to the quarterfinals. I don't think that they actually get to knocked out of the last 16. So I'm going quarterfinals plus 300 for Borussia Dortmund to get knocked out of this competition. I think that's a real safe bet there. Producer Jeff, right about now, let us know how Dortmund do. Moving on, let's go to LAFC. This one, obviously, a big focus in Major League Soccer because producer Jeff is quite hot on LAFC. He really believes they have a foundation. Obviously, you think they're probably the most historic team in Major League Soccer that's in this competition, even though they've been around for about 8 years, 7 years, whatever it may be. Producer Jeff likes LAFC, so he's believing that they have an opportunity. He says, sorry for sending you guys a late curveball, but of course they upset Club America to get in. They're probably the only MLS club that could compete in the top 5 European league. Now, question, I actually like that comment right there. Now, a lot of teams in Major League Soccer think they can compete, but LAFC, with the foundation they have, producer Jeff's not far away from exactly being correct with that statement there. Top 5 European leagues, LAFC. Where would they do, let's say, in the Premier League?
Oh, relegated.
Where would they do in the Bundesliga?
They're in the relegation playoff.
Whoa. Italian league.
Relegated.
Liga.
Top 10.
La Liga.
Relegated.
All right. I think you're not far away from it. Premier League's very difficult, obviously. Bundesliga, I have them being mid-table. Okay. I have them being in the top 6 in France. Yep. I have them being in a competitive top half of the table in La Liga. I have them potentially in the top half of the Italian league as well. I think LFC and Borussia Jeff are not wrong here. Let's talk about group winners. Do they have a chance of winning the group? Plus 550. They're in with Chelsea. They're in with Flamengo. Do they have a chance?
No chance of winning the group. There is a conversation for them qualifying. They're going to have to battle that out with Flamengo, but Chelsea winning this at minus 200. It's not worth playing by itself. Throw it in a parlay piece with another big favorite like Bayern Munich.
Yeah, love that one. Okay, let's talk about where they will be qualifying out of the group, because LAFC are in plus numbers just to qualify out of the group. Is it playable to you?
To me, it is playable because I think the pride of all of MLS is going to be on LAFC's back. I've got zero hope in Seattle Sounders. I'm sorry to my sister who lives in Seattle. I know you're actually a fan of this team. They're not going to make it out of this group. They have to get past Flamengo, who unfortunately is playing really, really well right now in Brazil's Serie A. But I do think it's possible. Flamengo is an extremely defensive-minded team. They're a team that like playing for these 2-0 kind of victories. So if LAFC can find a tactical plan to break through that defensive line, they might be able to get something out of this. They're not going to beat Chelsea. They're going to dominate Esperance de Tunis. It's going to be up to how they take on Flamengo in that matchup.
10 games unbeaten, and they're actually in great form right now, LAFC. So you have Chelsea finishing top, LAFC finishing second.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Well, here's what the betting odds tell us if you are correct. Plus 400 for Chelsea to win, LAFC to finish second. Buckets, Is it playable at plus 400? Because that to me looks pretty sexy.
Yeah, that's very sexy. That's absolutely playable to me. It's going to be Chelsea Flamengo or Chelsea LAFC. I might bet both of them, right? I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to have probably north of 500 wagers on this damn competition. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at, Ian? Let's have some fun.
Way to promote responsible betting here. I'm going to have about 500 wagers on this whole thing. Listen, I'm putting the odds out there. This is just a fraction of what I have been witnessing, obviously, with some of the sports books. There are some unbelievable odds out there. Please shop around. Don't just play on what we're saying here. Shop around because you can have some fun. And that also includes top goals because buckets, as I mentioned already before, there's 63 matches, 48 group stages, and then, of course, the knockout rounds. When I'm saying goals, I expect goals in this competition. In 63 games, the over is currently sitting at 185 goals from 63 games. At minus 115, where are you going? Over or under?
Oh, again, a bet I've never seen in any competition in soccer ever. Over.
It's great.
It's amazing. And this is what the sport needs. You need to have fun bets like this that you don't have to be as invested in every individual game, but you can just say, Dortmund just won 9-0. Incredible for my over 185. I'm going with the over here. You bet your ass. You will never see me betting an under 185. We got to have fun in this competition. There's teams playing for so much here. There's so much money on the line. All the defenses are exhausted. Absolutely give me the over here.
I mean, you have to go the over because if you look at the group stages, it's so lopsided in some of the groups. You're going to see 6-7-0 games. I really believe that. You're going to see big scoring. Remembering some teams are in preseason. Some teams are in the off season. Some teams are in the middle of their season. I mean, this is so disjointed, this competition. You're going to see wild results, wild games, sometimes feeling like a friendly, sometimes feeling like a preseason game. Some teams taking it incredibly seriously. I think Manchester City, Chelsea, and a few others, Atleti, take it incredibly seriously and go for goals. So I'm expecting the over to hit here. I'm going for over 200 goals buckets. That's where I'm going. I think 63 games, the average goal per game should be over 2. So, I mean, there's no brainer for me that we should get close to 3. I really think we're in the high 2.8, 2.9 per game when we finish this competition. Okay. You know, it wouldn't be an episode of Stoppage Time if we didn't get some wagers from our betting expert, of course. That is the blonde bombshell. He's no longer bald. He is the bald bombshell. Not blonde, bald bombshell, the betting unicorn, John Buckets. Welcome back, Buckets. It's time for you to hit the big time. It is go time for the loyal listeners out there. 3 best bets from you ahead of the FIFA Club World Cup. Buckets, I am testing you. I want best bet 1, 2, and 3 from you. We'll go one at a time. We'll discuss it. We'll give the loyal listeners something that they really want here. You can go anywhere you want here. Before a ball's even being kicked, your 3 best bets. Let's begin with best bet number 1. Roll that clock, Producer Jeff.
Best bet number 1, I'm looking at the opening matchup for this competition, Al Ahly versus Inter Miami. And I'm going with what Ian and I have already talked about, the over 2.5 goals at minus 125. I think we're going to see goals everywhere in this competition. And if you watch how Inter Miami is playing an MLS play, all you have to do is bet the over. 5-1, 4-2, 3-3, 3-0 were their last 4 games. And Al Ahly is the best offensive unit in the entirety of the Egyptian Premier League. This is a team that'll be coming into this matchup off a 6-0 win against Farco in the Premier League. And keep an eye on Wessem Abu Ali to score for Egypt for this Al Ahly side. Scored 4 goals in that matchup. He's going to be the guy leading the charge here.
Al Ahly won 6 consecutive games. They've scored 21 goals in those 6 games. Into Miami, I've got Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and the force coming at them. I love the over on this game. This one should be an absolute banger. Lock it in. Buckets, best bet number 2. What you got?
Let's go to the big one here as Paris Saint-Germain take on Atletico Madrid. And we're going with a same game parlay here because, frankly, I have no clue who wins this fixtures. PSG are minus 110 as the favorites, but Atletico Madrid are sneaky. This is a tough team, and PSG might be a little hungover celebrating on this one. So I'm not going to pick a winner. Instead, I'm going to give you plus numbers here with both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals gets you plus 110 right now. Atletico might score 2 here. PSG might score 2 here. They both might score 2 here. Just give me goals in this one.
Not many head-to-heads between these two teams. They did meet in 2024. It was a group stage game in the Champions League. PSG won, Atletico Madrid 2. They did meet in 2018 as well in the Champions Cup. It was 3-2 to PSG in that game. The one in the Champions League was a late winner from Correa. Molina also scored in that game. So did Zaire Emery for Paris Saint-Germain. Expect goals and expect drama when it comes to the FIFA Club World Cup this year. Love the bet. Make it a play. Bet responsibly. Buckets, final play from the FIFA Club World Cup. Give it to me now.
I call this the Buckets versus producer Jeff bet because I am looking at a fun, very juicy line here, but I can't ignore it. The bet is which team will go further, Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund. I'm taking Bayern Munich, priced at minus 175, so maybe you need to parlay this one, but I just want to trash talk Jeff as much as I can here. Bayern are in a group with Auckland City, Benfica, and Boca Juniors. They are going to win this group, no problem. Dortmund in a group with Fluminense, Mamelodi, and Ulsan. Again, they should easily top this group, but Dortmund will not make it past the quarterfinals, while I've got Bayern Munich making it to the semifinals at minus 175, and plus the chance I get to poke fun at producer Jeff here. I got to take that.
A little reminder that Borussia Dortmund have won their 6 consecutive final games of the season, including 3-1 against Barcelona as they got knocked out of the Champions League. They scored a remarkable 20 goals, I think it was, maybe something like that, 21, something like that. They're a goal-scoring team, so be careful what you wish for, Buckets. Forza! All right, there you have it. A full-on episode for the FIFA Club World Cup. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic tournament. Buckets, I threw a few surprises at you. I threw a few curveballs, as producer Jeff did for me as well. But there's a lot of plays out there that are quite exciting. And I actually asked people out there to bet responsibly, but go have fun. There are some bets out there that are just absolutely ridiculous. Let's just quick discussion on your overall thoughts of our show, obviously, ahead of the Club World Cup. What you're planning to maybe do when you will be hosting while I'm on vacation. Maybe some guests that you're interested in bringing on the show. You can mention names. We haven't even asked them yet, but you can mention names.
I will mention names, but before I do that, how about I throw a curveball back to you, IPJ, because as we're recording this, producer Jeff texted me and he said, Buckets, don't let IPJ forget. I demand a best bet for the LAFC versus Chelsea matchup. What do you got? So I want to make sure that at some point we include that as well.
Put it in right now.
I'll put it.
LAFC, big game, big competition. We've already discussed what's happening in the group stage. You think maybe Chelsea finish top and LAFC finish second, plus 400 if that happens. Talk to me. Give me a best bet.
Let's go for the best bet on this Chelsea versus LAFC opening match here, because you know that it wouldn't be an episode of FC Stoppage Time if I didn't give you the Buckets classics. Both teams to score minus 115. Chelsea, of course, they're the better side. They're an English Premier League side. They're the big dogs in this group. They're going to beat everyone. But looking at LAFC's recent form and looking at how much they scored the damn ball, you got to take BTTS here. Chelsea probably do win this game, but LAFC have been on fire, and they have so many good goal scorers at their disposal, and there's so much money. Even if you just draw the game, they're going to be pushing for a point here out of Chelsea. Love BTTS, especially when it's playable at minus 115.
Chelsea over 1.5 minus 275. Chelsea over 2.5 plus 110. Chelsea over 3.5 plus 270. Ladder it all. There you have it.
There we go.
There you have it. Curveballs left, right, and center. Fucking dodging everything right now with our shaven heads here, Buckets. It's been a great day. It's been a wonderful week, man.
It's because we're aerodynamic, baby. Nothing can stop us.
I can't take you seriously with that haircut. I really
it's
can't.
It's the same as your haircut.
That's what I'm saying. I can't take you seriously. I'm used to mine now. I can't take it seriously because I didn't even know you were coming on with that haircut. Let's get into it. Obviously, coming up in the show, we've got a lot planned. Producer Jeff is killing it. He's going to be very active. He is super hyper about this competition as well. So he's going to be producing some magic for the newsletter out there. So tell people why they should be subscribed to fcstoppagetime.com. Tell them exactly what to expect with your plans coming up as well as we go through the Club World Cup. We're taking this shit seriously, even though I'll be probably on a beach somewhere.
Ian will be on a beach somewhere sipping a nice little martini, and he'll still be giving us best bets for this competition, because that is how seriously we take it. You should be subscribed to FC Stoppage Time, because there is nobody in the entire country doing this like we are. We care about these wagers. We put hours and hours of time into finding you the best bet possible. But on top of that, we're also encouraging you to be responsible. We're not one of the teams that are telling you, hey, put the house on this, take out a second mortgage. This is a guaranteed lock. We understand there's no such thing as a guarantee. We are just providing entertainment, research, and best wagers for everyone here because we care about the beautiful game so damn much. Subscribe to FC Stoppage Time because, as we've mentioned, we're going to be giving out a ton of wagers and a ton of information and a ton of good vibes for this competition. And you will not miss any of those if you subscribe at fcstoppagetime.com, Ian.
Yes, well done. Well said, John Bucketimer, with your snazzy new haircut out there as well. Producer Jeff, thanks for all you do. Buckets, great stuff as always. I'm glad I caught you off guard a little bit with some of the great wagers that are out there. Bet responsibly, everybody out there, because this is a major competition. It will be taken seriously. We don't know which players are going to play, so we've got to be very careful how we place our money. Maybe sometimes wait for teams to be announced before you actually place a wager on games specifically. But as you can see from the futures, there's money to be made out there if you're a smart better. So bet responsibly. Real quickly, Buckets, has been a fabulous season. And somehow it has a feeling that the season's not over, that we're still going from last season into this season. There's not going to be a break. We're going to go straight into the domestic campaign. And the World Cup starts exactly 1 year from the day we are recording it, which is absolutely crazy. It's Wednesday, June 11th, recording this one right now. Exactly 1 year away from the World Cup starting. How fucking lucky are we that we get to work on this every single day, man?
It's so cool. I mean, there's not words to express how awesome this really is, because usually during the off season, all right, we take a couple months, we're going to try to find you some plays, but no, we've got pretty much 2 years of uninterrupted, good, high quality, world-class football. IPJ, I know that it's tough sometimes for both of us, Jeff included, because we all work so damn hard, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I would rather work 90 hours a week with you guys making this kind of content than working 40 hours and just relaxing on the off time. I don't want off time. I want to be able to do this with you constantly.
Wait till you get to my age and then you'll be guaranteed that you have some sort of off time, which I will be taking over the next 5 weeks. I'll be spending some time away. You will be seeing some videos from me. You'll be getting some tips from me, obviously, on the newsletter. So make sure you subscribe there. Buckets will be obviously jumping in on shows. You'll see Buckets doing some lives. He might even do lives straight off our Instagram, TikTok, and obviously X, whatever it may be. Whatever he wants to do, it might be just something that's a spur of the moment feeling during this competition. So please make sure you're following us across all of those platforms on social media, especially on YouTube. Producer Jeff doing great wonders with the shorts that are going out there. TikTok's doing great, by the way. Champions League final. I know I had success in the Champions League final. Unfortunately, Buckets, you didn't. Sorry, I had to bring it up. But TikTok did over 10,000 views on our videos out there. So 10,000 people saw you lose to me.
Yep, and you know what's worse is I was featured on the Galazzo Instagram for my best bets, so another 1.2 million people saw me lose to you.
Make sure you're following all across the board. My show Scoreline will be out there on CBS Sports Galazzo Network, 5 p.m. Almost every single night throughout the summer. You will be able to see myself and my colleagues there, except for when I'm on vacation. John Bucketimer, where can people find you away from stoppage time throughout the summer?
You can find me on the early edge still every morning with Sportsline, giving out some best bets for the day. You can also find me on the CBS Sports Network and maybe some other places that I'm not going to talk about just quite yet.
Wonderful. At Joy Paul Ian, at Buckets John Betts. Make sure you're following across all of our social media platforms. We're just pretty cool people. We're fun people. So all of you fucking bullshitters out there as well, and I see you as well, a couple of clowns out there trying to fish us in for comments, give it a rest. We don't care about you. So go back to your little basement, but make sure you're betting responsibly when you're in that basement, okay? Please, that's all we care about. Everybody have fun. It's a great community we've built here together on Stoppage Time. FCStoppagetime.com is where it's at. Buckets John Betts. At Joy Paulian, producer Jeff, this summer, you know what we're going to do, Buckets?
Oh, baby.
We're going to absolutely
have it!
I caught you! There's some bets in there, by the way. Fucking great bets, man.
That's so cool. I hadn't looked at DraftKings yet. I mean, it's like every single team, it's every amazing, single player, dude. Every week. It's awesome. Team total goals. You can bet on Porto.
You can bet on like which confederation's going to win it. Like you can bet on fucking like everything. I've never seen this before. It's crazy.
Dude, Auckland City to score over 1.5 goals in the entire competition, plus 110.
We'll keep it. Lock it in.
That's a fun one. Yeah, we'll use that
for one of you. I mean, that's great. I'll do that. Fucking hell, man.
They'll get a own goal or something stupid against Bayern, and then they've just got to find one against someone else. 3 games.
I mean, that's great. I mean, it could be like 7-3 on some of these games.
Yeah.
Like, it could be wild.
I think the over is the best bet of the entire thing. That 185, I love that.
Yeah. That was the best way to do it, by the way. I think I didn't want to go into every single group because there's far too many teams. So I want to just mention the teams that are in there, but then also just go through some of the major groups, and then other group games or whatever, you can jump in at any time if there's something that takes your fancy.
Yep.
I think this was just the best place to actually play it.
I think so too. I hadn't looked at DraftKings, and I'm kind of mad because there's a lot. Lowest scoring team, Auckland's minus 120. Nationality of the winner.
Yeah, but you know there's going to be that one team that's fucking.
It's going to be Salzburg's going to do another Champions League, and all of a sudden they're fun.
It's great, man. There you have it, buddy.
Stoppage time.